This guy comes through so generously on Fridays. He has written for everything from the Chronicle to the new Voice of San Francisco publication. When it comes to music, movies, streaming, he is without peer. He comes and goes on a rainbow. He's the wonderful Michael Snyder, the Culture Blaster. Hello, sir.
Happy Labor Day, everyone. And if you're going into labor, I wish you an easy time of it and a healthy baby.
By the way, I should mention this, and sorry to use your segment for 12 seconds to add this, but we are dark on Labor Day, so there's no new show on Labor Day.
I'm dark 365 days out of the year. You know my moods.
Yeah.
Mark,
that's what I like about you.
I have a confession to make. I smoked Casey Kasem's hemp belt. I did.
I see. Wow. That is news to me. Well,
and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week.
Did you have anything to do with the pictures?
This is Casey Kasem in Hollywood.
All right, Michael. Go ahead.
Anyway, I don't
have
want
your other topical? You like a lot of topical?
I don't want to belabor the point, but here's a Labor Day toast to all workers and to the assurance of equal pay for equal work regardless of gender or ethnicity. And Mark, for the record, I won't be wearing white after Labor Day, but I will definitely continue to be white since, as usual, I have avoided the sun all summer. It's not my jam.
Yeah, you like the pasty kind of goth type look.
I got that moon tan. Okay, so let's get down to movies. Guess what? No invitations to see the new biopic, Reagan, about Ronald Reagan.
Oh, that's with
Dennis
Quaid?
Yeah, right-wing mouthpiece Dennis Quaid. You know, I didn't vote for Reagan. I would never vote for the Reagan administration on any front, and I seriously had no desire to spend 2 hours watching it. But the movie company and distributors did not reach out with an invitation. Maybe they've checked my voting record. I don't know.
Well, you think it's a sign that it might not be that good.
You are correct. The Rodney King L.A. Riots docudrama 1992 did kind of look intriguing, but I wasn't approached to see that either. And finally, the high-tech horror movie Afraid was not open for critics to review. I don't think anybody saw it.
Wow. So you're saying that there is a little hide the football going on with many of the movie studios and some of these offerings.
Yeah, I think they were afraid to show it to us. But I still rustled up some films to recommend or dismiss. I wonder
what's the story with this Slingshot movie? I see billboards for this movie Slingshot, a lot of ads for Slingshot. What's it about?
Yeah, well, let's kick it off with that.
Okay, good.
The science fiction psychological drama Slingshot has some strong performers, specifically Casey Affleck, who was good in kind of a mediocre movie opposite Matt Damon.
Right. What was it?
The Disruptors, The Inheritors. I can't. It was a week ago, and I'm already moved on to next week. Anyway, Lawrence Fishburne is in Slingshot.
Wow.
But its examination of brains getting frazzled by a long-haul mission to Saturn's moon Titan.
That is a long haul.
It gets a little slow and tedious, especially when compared to the recent all hell breaks loose action of Alien Romulus.
Oh, that's right.
More fanciful. The idea is you're watching Slingshot. Oh, this could actually happen. You know, aliens chasing people around a
little
space
more
station.
far-fetched.
Yeah. But to be fair, Slingshot, which gets its name from the risky maneuver its spacecraft has to execute to achieve the mission's problematically vague ends, because that's another problem with the film. Why are they going to what's on Titan? What are they going to do? Are they going to go? Are they mining? How can they?
So what were they doing? It was they never explained why they were going to Saturn.
They did and they didn't. I was like, okay. Anyway,
that's a long way to go. Saturn. You should have a clear mission statement, don't you?
Hey, maybe you're getting a ring for your girlfriend. I have no idea.
Okay.
But the point I'm trying to make is this is a more serious endeavor than the Alien movie, because it's examining how the solitude and loneliness of a planetary voyage can be debilitating. So the length of time the journey to Titan entails requires that the three astronauts on this particular voyage have to do recurring suspended animation. And the shifts in and out of deep sleep start to affect their sanity to the point where conflict is kind of inevitable and tragedy looms. The problem is that the movie plods when it should kind of envelop you in tension, and the reliance on the suspended animation pods as a plot point begins to wear a bit. I'm not saying the posters and ads for Slingshot should read, "In space, no one can hear you snore," but honestly, I occasionally felt like I was drifting off like a wayward space capsule.
I love that space stuff, like the 2001: A Space Odyssey type stuff. You're saying it's nothing
It's not great. Affleck is. He's good as the uneasy astronaut John, and Fishburne as the spaceship captain Franks, and they're giving it their all. And the rest of this very compact cast, it's almost like a bottle episode on TV. You know, you're in the capsule, and that's kind of it.
I see.
And then you got the special effects of the space in front of them and around them. But, other actors in this thing were pretty decent. Tomer Capone plays the third Space Ranger Nash. Emily Beecham is John's scientist girlfriend back on Earth. And David Morrissey, who American audiences may know from The Walking Dead, he was the governor. He's the guy who appears to be in charge at Mission Control. And they do what they can with what they've got. And to be fair, it has some interesting turns and mysteries that kind of slowly unfold until a suddenly intense endgame almost savages you and salvages the project. That climax, the climax is, I just wanted more. Director,
so would you say just wait till streaming and then just skip to the climax?
That won't work.
Okay.
Mikael Hafstrom is so studied in his approach as the director that he made me wonder what his fellow Scandinavian filmmaker, the late Ingmar Bergman, might have done with a science fiction movie. You know, there's a lot of chatter and brooding and whatever. I thought, wow, the Scandinavian in this one is strong. But considering the great Bergman's penchant for dark psychological drama, it might have been as dispiriting as Slingshot, which, again, is not... I keep saying this. Every week we have one or two films where we go, not terrible.
Not awful, yeah.
But it's in select theaters.
Dispiriting is a ding word.
Yeah.
By that, somebody else mentioned, I believe it was Tom, who is the keeper of the ding, that... debilitating is it?
Is it really?
I don't think it is. I don't think debilitating is a dang word. Sorry, Tom.
Anyway, City of Dreams is the next movie on the docket here, and it is a far more down-to-earth...
Docket is a dang word.
...earnest and agenda-driven movie. City of Dreams is kind of a grueling but very affecting drama that's, as they say, torn from today's headlines. And in fact, they say in the movie, based on... actual events, and but who knows how much they fictionalize things.
Sure.
And I have to tell you, it is manipulative, but it's for a good cause, raising awareness of this nightmarish exploitation of forced child labor in our own backyard, that being, at least for me today, Southern California. We take
so where is it going on?
We take this
in Southern California.
Yeah, we take this horrifying ride with Jesus, who's a kid from Mexico, whose father lets him get taken to L.A. to ostensibly attend an L.A. Galaxy soccer camp. The kid wants to be a soccer player, and Dad lets this vile trafficker take his kid to Los Angeles, where instead the kid ends up getting sold to a filthy sweatshop where he's essentially a slave forced to make bargain clothing in abusive conditions. Yikes. The kid who plays Jesus is really fantastic. I mean, I was totally impressed with him. His name is Ari Lopez, and I'm curious to see where he goes from here. The only familiar actor I think was Jason Patric as a cop who is suspicious of what's going on in this ramshackle house that has in fact got more than just a horrible sweatshop going on. There's all kinds of sex trafficking and what have you.
I see.
It is brutal. And, there's the El Jefe, and you have a little sympathy for him because he struggled to make things, go his way here in America when he came from south of the border. But, there's a lot of evil plotting around, and it's legit here in our own backyard, like I said. I should also point out that the director, whose name is Mohit Ramchandam, co-wrote this. He actually wrote it on his own, and he does a good job. But one of my colleagues referred to it as torture porn because this kid is so terribly abused, and yet I can't help but think it's a legit depiction of what can go on in these circumstances.
Those are always tough to sit through. I remember even with Slumdog Millionaire, which was, feel good, sort of mix between Bollywood and whatever, feel good at the end. It has a Hollywood or Bollywood ending. And you kind of knew it was maybe going someplace that you were going to be okay with. The child abuse before you get to the ending was so rough to see, man. I mean, it's really tough. That grittiness often is a little tough to sit through. And you're saying in this case, it has a verisimilitude to it. I mean, it's real,
I would say so, but they, of course, amp it up for effect. The kid is great, and his adventures trying to get out of where he is are kind of stirring, but I'm not going to lie to you. When it was over, I was like, Jesus, Jesus, if you will. The movie, such as it is, and by the way, again, Jason Patric plays kind of a noble cop who is swimming against the stream of bureaucracy in his attempts to bring people to this location and reveal the horrors that are going on. But it doesn't matter because everybody kind of delivers. You can see this thing in select theaters for right now, and I do believe it'll read well on screen. It'll be okay to watch, and maybe it'll be better for you to be able to stand up and go, no,
yeah,
I
let me
need
go to
take
the
a
kitchen
break.
and have another cocktail before I watch the rest of this. Verisimilitude is a ding word.
By
yes,
the way,
that's right.
the score is by a really terrific musician named Lisa Gerard, who is one half of the chamber art rock band Dead Can Dance, and there's a lot to praise here, but also it is brutal. It is absolutely brutal.
City of Dreams, it's called. What was
Right.
the first? He said something, Tom, in the Keeper of the Ding, and I was kind of surprised that you didn't identify it, Tom, as a ding word. In the first paragraph, there was something. What was one of the words you used in the first paragraph of what you gave us on this story?
Paragraph. This stuff is off the top of my head.
Okay,
but,
well, I was just saying, and do you remember one of the words you said at the very beginning of the review?
No,
Okay.
I mean,
once it's out of your mouth.
Wait, grueling? I don't know.
No, not okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was counting on Tom. I deliberately didn't write it down.
You're
Tom
making a
let me down.
mountain out of a molehill.
That
here.
is true. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All
What's
right.
next?
Quickly, Catching Dust is sort of a very noirish drama about an abusive relationship in a rundown trailer situated at the site of an abandoned commune in the Texas desert. It's contemporary. The woman, Gina, who is, by the way, played by an actress some people are very familiar with, I would think, Erin Moriarty from The Boys.
Oh, sure.
And Gina kind of wants out. Her significant other, her husband, has a criminal past, and she's kind of a prisoner in a way. And then one day, a young couple from New York show up with a trailer to spend, I don't know, a month there to get away from the madness of Manhattan and whatever problems they have there. And that creates major friction and drama. Jay Courtney plays Gina's boyfriend Clyde, who is, or husband Clyde, and he's a piece of work, let's put it that way. And Dina Shahabi plays Amaya, the woman. Ryan Corr plays Andy, the man, who have come from New York. And you just know bad things are going to happen. This is not a great film, but it's very well acted, and it has kind of a hair trigger fear factor because you're waiting for shoes to drop right and left. Is somebody going to rat these people out? Are the cops going to show up? So
it's tense. It's a tense watch.
There is tense. There is tension here.
It's not quite thriller, but sort of psychological tension.
You wonder if Clyde's going to kill these two people from New York. But to say more would probably do a disservice. Stuart Gatt wrote it, and the director of the movie is, in fact, Mr. Gatt as well. And, again, not great. I would say streaming is the way to go if you want to watch this. And we've seen so many great film noir movies and neo-noir that this seems to pale a little by comparison.
I still love that noir film that you suggested. Now it's got to be 2 months ago, and I saw it. I loved it. With it Last Stop Out of Yuma or something?
Yeah, right. It's just fantastic.
That was perfect, yeah.
The Last Stop in Yuma County. A wonderful film.
Anyway, go ahead.
This is not
Catching Dust is.
It's not.
It's got some tension. It's noirish, but it's also just goodish, not good.
Yeah, that would be fair. And now it's streaming, so it's easy to get to. It's by a great director, but it sort of shows his diminishing skill set or his lack of something new and original. It's called The Killer. Oh. And The Killer is a remake of the legendary Chinese action director and screenwriter John Woo's 1989 Hong Kong crime classic, which starred his, muse, Chow Yun-fat, as a hired gun who begins to have moral qualms about what he's doing.
I remember that movie a long time ago.
It is fantastic. And this, The Killer, is not the recent and actually quite good Michael Fassbender movie from last year with the same title about an assassin. Here, the setting is Paris instead of Hong Kong. It's the City of Lights, so you're always happy to spend 2 hours there if you're me, because a bit of a Francophile. And the lead assassin is now a woman played by the lovely and limber British actress Natalie Emmanuel.
What does limber mean?
She's very bendable and
I mean, you're saying her character is...
Yes, physically
physically bendable. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's all over the place. She's leaping and jumping and shooting and doing everything you want from an assassin.
Okay.
Particularly a lovely one in a cat suit. Anyway, so,
she wears a cat suit when she goes out to assassinate people?
Well, at one point, she has a variety of disguises to kill what she believes are bad people for a crime boss who's kind of eliminating his, all of his, I guess, his rivals in Paris. And there is an intermediary who basically tells her where to go and who to kill. And he's played by Sam Worthington, and he's got like an Irish accent and what have you. And the French cop who gets wind of what's going on and wants to find out what's happening with this assassin is played by Omar Sy, who you may know from Lupin. He's the star of Lupin.
Of course,
on
I
Netflix.
love Lupin.
He is incredibly charismatic and wonderful.
I found out about Lupin through you.
And so he's pretty,
on this show.
He's pretty wonderful in this thing. And there are a few other supporting players, including one of the guys from Call My Agent, and he kind of plays Omar Sy's partner on the French police force. And all hell starts breaking loose when she is sent to eliminate a bunch of rivals because of a heroin deal that went bad. And while she's doing it, there is a woman singer in this sort of speakeasy nightclub who is injured, and she feels like this woman may not be deserving of getting offed, even though her boss has said, you have to kill everybody there.
So she's had a crisis of the,
So you have a lot of John Woo visual signatures,
That's great.
And what have you. Woo has still got the action chops, right? But the script by 3 screenwriters, none of them Woo, he wrote the original, by the way, feels kind of humdrum despite the thrilling source material and the director's ongoing visual mastery when it comes to creative fights and killings. I watched it. I enjoyed it as I watched it. And then I went, this is not A+ John Woo.
No. Yeah.
And in case you don't know who we're talking about, this is the guy who did Face Off, Mission Impossible 2, Broken Arrow.
How old is John Woo now? He's got to be getting into his 70s.
I think he's 110. I have no idea how old he is.
Well, I would like to find out, Albert.
Google it.
Yeah, okay, let me see. John Woo. Go ahead.
Anyway, so it had its moments. I kind of wish that it had been better. You know what? I want to quickly shift over to a couple of TV recommendations because 2 programs that I'm very fond of are back for new seasons.
He's 77.
77.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Very good. Thank you.
Only Murders in the Building.
Albert, thank you.
Yeah.
Only Murders in the Building is back on Hulu with a 4th series with a new mystery.
A lot of people get murdered in that building.
Well, it's true. And in fact, one of the things that happens in this new season, at least according to the first episode, is the podcast that our 3 leads, played, of course, by Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez, have been doing. The podcasts are optioned, or Hollywood attempts to option them to make a movie about them. And there's even a cast that's been put in there. They have Eugene Levy, who is going to play the Steve Martin role. They have Zach Galifianakis, who's going to play the Martin Short role. And aging her up, because as they say, your relationship is kind of creepy with these old guys, is... what's her name? Eva Longoria.
No, that's great.
Instead of Selena Gomez.
That's great.
I was just like... Wow. I laughed. I totally enjoyed it. Molly Shannon plays sort of a, glib producer type that wants to convince them to sign away their life rights and do this movie about their...
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
So this is sort of a tip to the showbiz of this podcast universe when it comes to true crime.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, that's it. And I've only watched the first episode, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Meryl Streep is back as Oliver, Martin Short's character's Lady Love, and there'll be other surprise guests over the course of the series, I think.
Wow, very cool.
And also, back for a second series is The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. It's on Amazon Prime Video.
Yes, I saw that Mo Direct is waiting. It said he saw, here it is. No, that's a different comment. But anyway, one of our regular listener viewers really is excited about this Lord of the Rings thing.
They dropped 3 episodes this week, and they will be trickling them out one after the other each week until they run through the entire second series. It is, by the way, set many, many, many years before the events of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and it kind of focuses on the acquisition of these rings early on and the rise of Sauron, the evil wizard, and also, the battles between elves and trolls.
I was thinking of changing my name to Sauron. He's an evil wizard, though. That might be a bad
I don't
brand
think you
for
want to
me.
do it. Morfydd Clark,
I like the way it
who
sounds,
plays
like Sauron.
Galadriel, who is our kind of central figure, the hero or heroine. She's going to get her hands on a ring this year. I can just feel it.
Wow.
I feel it. Anyway,
How many rings are there?
You got me. Do I seem like a hobbit to you?
I've always wanted to know.
No, I have no clue.
Okay.
I know that someone got the brass ring, actually the platinum ring, and that would be Brandon Ayuk. And I think
No, that's right.
The Niners are
Niners are loaded up with people who can catch that ball from Purdy.
they're poised, and I'm excited about that.
Well, we're excited that these offerings have been, some of them tepidly recommended by Michael Snyder. Only Murders in the Building, though, he really likes, along with the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
Yes.
You've heard his remarks on both. The Killer, set in Paris, brings back a lot of those who you'd expect top drawer performances in every way from. He says, it's okay.
Yeah, I like the cast. I mean, Checky Cario, one of the stars of La Femme Nikita, shows up in a very, very small role.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Everybody who shows up in this thing, The Killer, is someone who brings it, but it's just bringing it is only going to get you so far.
It seems watered down compared to the Chow Yun-Fat original that Wu did, that made his rep in a big way.
Sure. And Catching Dust is the noirish, tension-filled story. Michael says, again, not bad. It's streamable, which I always like because I like to get tense in my own home. So tension-filled, noirish, Catching Dust.
Yeah, a little too dusty for me, I think.
Yeah, went on a little long, maybe, and
No, it was sort of lean. It just,
it was lean. That's what I meant. It's lean, but too much dust and not enough catching.
Maybe.
All right. City of Dreams was based on a true story tale of child labor going on in Southern California. Apparently, it has a reality and a grittiness to it that is both disturbing but also compelling. Michael found it worth the watch, but it is a tough watch.
It's brutal, and in fact, I think it's based on a lot of actual events and circumstances as opposed to one specific true story.
All right.
But it does, it means well, and it provides people with a view of something that they should be aware of.
Slingshot was the space shot sci-fi film. I like the sci-fi. I also like the space shot stuff. I don't know, ever since 2001: A Space Odyssey, I think I was hooked on this stuff. But Michael says this is a trip to Saturn that feels like a trip to Saturn. It's a long, kind of questionable ride to the ringed planet. And even though it's got, I believe, Lawrence Fishburne in it. Didn't you say that?
Yeah, Larry plays the captain of this three-man crew.
Yeah.
And
boy,
Casey
only
Affleck.
3 men on the crew all the way to Saturn. How long a trip is that?
Yeah, a year and a half.
Oh,
2
more
years.
than that,
It's
I would say.
It's a long haul.
Wow,
let me
they
tell
really
you.
got him out. Anyway, Slingshot is, he said, meh. I still want to see it somehow, but you think I'll be disappointed?
No, I think, you may find merit in some of it. The acting is good. And
It's in theaters only, though, right now.
for right now, yeah. In fact, every one of these is but The Killer, but they're all going to eventually make it to streaming.
John says Only Murders is one of the best TV shows ever. Future review, Baby Girl, is R. Herrera is saying. Is that a future review of yours, Baby Girl? I don't know what Baby Girl is, but it says...
Don't even play.
Don't even play. That's the...
Hey, when I hear Boar's Head, I think that doesn't sound appetizing to me.
Oh, girl, baby girl. Don't even play.
Just saying.
Thanks to Kathleen Bryant for a super sticker for 20
Big shout out.
Wow, that really helps us, Kathleen. A big hug to you and have a great weekend. And I'm wanting to see if there's anything else here as to remarks about your segment and questions. I don't see any more.
Hey, it's so great to actually meet some of the audience members via the Zoom gathering. I just love the people that participated. And
It was a lot of fun, and you added to the fun.
Hey, and I fanboy out with some of our more stellar contributors. It's great to see Jim Avila, and obviously Spencer Christian is kind of a king. He's a kingpin.
He was really cool, and he hung with for a long time. He's a Patreon supporter, believe it or not. Really, really cool. Michael, you can find him. The Voice of San Francisco is where he does his writings on all things related to entertainment. He's also someone who does muse about things other than entertainment. So you can find those too at thevoicesf.org.
Yes,
thevoicesf.org.
The current column is all about Borderlands and about how stars aren't going to necessarily save a bad script. So check it out.
Good stuff. Michael, thank you. He comes and goes on a rainbow. Bye-bye, Michael Snyder.
Go Giants, go Niners.
Go Giants, go Niners, go Ayuk, go.
The Mark Thompson Show.